BlizzCon! We love refunds.
What's going on, people?
Everyone, that's a story for later. I just thought I'd drop that in there.
Nice, Sam.
The watch time. This is all.
Way to lead with the lead. What kind of newsman are you?
Because I'm a lead.
That's right.
That's what I am.
What's going on, everybody?
Hello,
Good
everyone.
to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a good week. We've had a pretty good week.
Yes, we have. A lot of content.
Pretty busy week on Laymen.
Yes.
Had a good time.
What have we played? That is always the question.
That is
everybody.
the question. Sam, what have you played? Do tell.
Okay,
Do tell.
I'm trying to think now. What have we played extra? I know I played Smash. I know I've played Overwatch.
Nothing else.
Shaq Fu. Apart from that, I mean that's my daily.
I asked you to download Wilson, and
I
you
know,
didn't
I've got to
it.
do that, guys. We're doing Wilson. We're going to do some sort of review or impressions of that, so stay tuned for that.
That's right.
Because Diablo 4 is probably not going to be that great, so Wilson is our only saviour, everybody.
Yeah, so this week I was actually playing a lot of Legends of Runeterra, the card game from
Yes.
Riot. I still am playing that to this day. Like, I think I put maybe 40 hours into that game. I'm now up to the 3rd league of like climbing, so you start to
Are you
lose
still in Wooden
points.
League?
No, I'm out of Wood League now,
good.
so that's good.
Okay, good.
But great game though. If you haven't played it, go and play it. It's free, and it's actually free, by the way. Everyone's like, "Oh, surely it's
That's
a
actually pretty
scam."
cool.
It's actually free. It's crazy how good it is.
I wonder if they're ever. I mean, of course they will bring it to mobile, but I wonder if there's any plans yet to bring it to mobile.
Oh no, they're just doing the like PC beta testing
Yeah.
or whatever else. So.
Well, that's very exciting.
Chat, good to see you all, chat. Nice to see Zendru and Nacho. Thank you very much for being here as always. Saw you
Where's
guys in the
Nacho?
chat.
Oh, I haven't seen Nacho.
I saw him a bit earlier.
Okay.
So.
Well, hello Zendru and hello Nacho. Hello everyone else, of course.
I'm also playing Wilson, Lords of Mayhem. I'm playing the review builds. I can't talk about the new content other than what was in the preview, because that's under NDA. But the old stuff, I liked it, man. I like it.
Is it the type of review build where you're like, let's check the store. The microtransaction store is unavailable.
No, there's no microtransaction.
Oh really?
No.
Wow. Okay.
Not that I know of.
Ralph has been paid, everybody.
No, I'm pretty sure. No, I don't think so. I actually have to double check that now. But
He's like,
I've
we're
not
live,
seen-
right? Oh well.
No, I've not seen any, and I don't think there is, but I'll have to double check.
Yeah. Well. Use this
but look,
as a soundbite in the exposed, everybody.
it's good. It's called Wilson Lords of Mayhem, WOLCEN. It's like a Diablo game. It's very Diablo 3, like very, but like. It's good. I like it. I think you should check it out. I'm going to do a review on it next week.
This week.
We're going to do some coverage of it. So.
The review or impressions will drop this week.
Yes. We already have some super chats as well. We've got
Oh.
Francois. So I watched the first video on the channel again. Sam
What
looks like
happened
he's
to me?
14 years old.
What happened to me?
I have aged, but Sam has really
I'm
aged.
really aged.
Sam has like
a
what has
fine
happened?
wine.
No, not
that
like
has been left in the sun.
Exactly like cheese, like already moldy
Bad
cheese,
cheese
left in the sun, and then the flies had it
Yes.
for a long time. That's how Sam looks now.
And
so.
I took an arrow to the knee, everybody, and it's just not the same.
Good
now.
meme, Sam. Very original.
Thanks,
Very
man.
Great.
Edgy,
Top
edgy
tier.
humour, everyone.
Donald as well with his weekly dono.
Thank you,
Got
Donald.
work, but have a good stream. Thank you very much, Donald. Always good to see you, my friend. Very generous.
Thanks.
$15. We
Appreciate you,
appreciate
buddy.
you. Love you. Anyway, guys, welcome to Layman Live. It's the weekly show where we talk about all of the news offcuts, stuff we didn't have time for this week, as well as what's broken in the last 24 hours.
Yes.
Good news is there is Blizzard news to discuss.
Oh,
I know
God.
that's why you're all here.
That's why the thumbnail
Don't
was
worry.
there.
Someone will put a comment with the timestamps later on, and you can
Yes.
jump to that. We appreciate you. But let's get to the other news for now. Let's
Okay,
get
so
started
what's
with
the
some other
first
stuff.
news? Okay, so Nintendo. All right. I mean, look, a lot of people thought that there was going to be some sort of announcement in the Switch department. There is no plans apparently for a Switch model in 2020. It kind of makes sense because what they've done with the Switch is they did not release it when, PS4 and Xbox One were competing with each other. They did it later in 2016, early 2017, late 2016, I believe. So they want to obviously maybe get away from the next console war, and they want to potentially drop it in 2021 or 2022.
And this is a bit surprising because it was actually a pretty foregone conclusion that we were getting a new Switch model. We heard rumors absolutely everywhere. Lots of outlets were reporting on it. Some of them I think were even kind of not quite confirming it, but they were very much like, yes, this is happening. We're definitely getting a Switch Pro model this year.
Yes, yeah.
And then all of a sudden Nintendo said they broke the news in a presentation to investors telling them not to expect any new model over the next 12 months. So
Yeah.
that's it. There's nothing else happening. That's
Yeah.
locked in.
I was very excited for the idea of a new Switch, so I was following, that for a few months, checking the articles when they were emerging, and there was definitely a lot of Switch Lite and a Switch Pro. Now, they were right about the Switch Lite, so we have seen something, but maybe they just, once they knew that the new consoles were in fact coming out this year, maybe Nintendo changed their plans. You know, maybe they were thinking of bringing something out, but they were like, you know what, we're going to chill and we're going to wait for the next year.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. I mean, at the end of the day, the stuff that has been rumored for that is an increased CPU, better battery life, potentially a larger screen as well. Like it's going to be a bigger by a few inches or something. But we all know a few inches makes a big difference.
It really does, everybody. You come here for the childish jokes.
That's right.
This is what you're here for, everybody.
That's what you can expect. I don't even know how that's going to work in terms of. Would you have to own the better Switch to be able to play the newest Switch games? Yeah. I don't think so. But probably going to be like the PlayStation Pro thing, where you get like, hey, Breath of the Wild doesn't run at like 15 frames a second.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's nice.
So it really made me sick when I realised that we weren't going to get a new Nintendo Switch, everybody.
Oh my God.
Speaking of sick, Nintendo Switch has been delayed slightly in terms of its production from the coronavirus outbreak. Now, I thought that was a wonderful segue. But that's...
Coronavirus, man. We didn't think it mattered, but now it's hitting where it really hurts.
Games.
Video games.
And console making.
It's very sad.
It is very sad. So, it is very sad. So that sucks because, look, I mean, there's probably a plentiful supply of Switches anyway.
Well, actually, no, there's not. The Switch is always selling out.
Really?
This is another thing. Like, I think most of us probably own a Switch already if we wanted one. A lot of other people don't. And they still struggle to get their hands on it. Like, literally, some places are always sold out of Switches.
Yep.
And so, yeah, this announcement here is that Nintendo is basically the production of Nintendo Switches is going to be slowed because of coronavirus. It's obviously made in China, like everything else. They did move some of their production to Vietnam, actually, but there's still a lot in China. And a lot of China is just shutting down right now because of coronavirus. Everyone's being told to stay home. Businesses are closing down, like temporarily, because of all this stuff. So, yeah, if you don't yet have a Switch, it might be harder to get one in the future. You're probably fine for like the next month, but after that, the supply will dip.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, Nintendo actually put out a formal apology for this.
That's actually weird. That's nice, I guess. But I mean, you don't need to do that.
Nice is the word.
Well, you know, in terms of like they're really wanting to like say you know this sucks. But look, this is my second attempt at a segue.
Here we go.
That's just out of this world.
No.
It's just out of this world.
No, it's terrible.
We don't have the Switch coming now. They've also, speaking of out of this world, Outer Worlds is not going to be coming to Switch at the time it was. Was there actually a specific time?
There was actually a release date. Sorry,
okay,
I can't remember the exact release date for the Outer Worlds on Switch, but there was a release date. And there's an announcement from the Outer Worlds Twitter and private division saying that they are delaying Outer Worlds on Nintendo Switch due to coronavirus impacting the Virtuous team working on the port. To provide them enough time to finish development, we'll now be releasing the physical version of the cartridge as well. That's another thing. There was no physical version planned, but now there is.
Okay.
Once we have a new launch date, we will let you know. And just to be clear, the team apparently is safe. They're working in Singapore, as I understand. But yes, they've been affected by this as well. Their office has been forced to close. And yeah, that's it. So Outer Worlds on Switch is delayed.
That sucks.
It's going to be interesting to see how that runs on Switch, can I say?
That's what we were saying. Okay, I just don't. Ooh, it's gonna be tough. I think it's gonna be tough. Look, they got Doom working. Okay, they got Doom.
Yeah, you can do it.
They got The Witcher.
It's like what sacrifices are made, because Witcher runs at 540p.
Oh my god.
So it's a bit like...
Mortal Kombat 11 is probably the latest one that was like really nice looking.
Yeah.
And they got it working, right? 60 frames, I believe, actually.
For Mortal Kombat?
I think it was.
No way.
Maybe comment section, tell me how wrong I am. I'm pretty sure it's 60.
And maybe... Diablo was 60 frames, I know that, so...
Yes.
Someone says, Australia is awfully close to China. Careful, lads.
A lot of trade, also. We have a lot of trade.
I think actually some of our universities are going back late, because they... Like, I think universities go back at the end of the month.
Yeah.
And they are going back like 1 or 2 weeks later to see what happens with coronavirus and all that stuff.
And a lot of public schools and private schools especially are asking, in Australia at least, if you have kids have gone to China, please wait 2 weeks before you return.
Crazy.
So it has been affecting all sorts of areas.
Because also there was Chinese New Year. And
that's the thing.
And Chinese New Year is actually the largest annual migration of humans every year.
Is it?
Yep. Wow. That's a true story. Because there's a lot of people in China, and they all go from like their cities or whatever to their hometowns, and they come back, they come from overseas back to China, all that sort of stuff. And then, that's just like the worst possible time for a virus outbreak to happen.
I can't think of a worse time for an outbreak for, a giant, like Christmas time or something. It's like everyone's together, Well,
that's exactly what the Division was about. Because the Division story was that there was this dollar flu. And that's during like I think it was the Black Friday sales, that everyone was shopping, so everyone was out there handing over lots of cash.
Yes.
And then that's how the virus spread so fast. So, there you go.
See Contagion. I watched that recently too. It's I don't know.
We're really getting off topic here.
We're really getting off topic. You're here for the games. We're going to tell you all about coronavirus.
We should get into some news. I think there was a super chat.
Oh,
that we missed.
there's a few of them actually. I think
Was there? No, we didn't. We got this one.
And there's 1,000 Huffleton
here we go.
points.
We got Technique says for $6.66. Thank you, my friend. He says, been loving Wilson and Runeterra. What decks do you run? In Runeterra, I run an Ionian P&Z variant from the starter deck, and I run Dawn Spiders, even though it's really cheap and everyone hates it.
Oh, is it like the Hunter?
No, it's not. It's one of these ones that just, like, you just sit back and, like, you just pick off everyone else's cards, and you just kind of get really fat over time, like it's a control deck.
Yeah, so we got 1,000 Huffleton.
We've got 1,000 Huffington points as well.
We've got another one before that too.
And we'll get... no, I don't think we did. I think we got all those. Up here,
there we go.
Oh, here we go.
Yes.
Oh, we did. Nandor, he's back. Welcome back, Nandor, for 1,000
Thank you very
Huffington
much,
points.
Nandor.
Thank you for covering the automated refund of Warcraft 3. Got it refunded despite having played 6 to 8 hours.
Wow.
Not many others covered it, though. I feel like it did the rounds on that.
Young definitely covered it. I'm surprised that you got a refund after 6 to 8. I mean, that's
No. Actually, now we'll come back to that later.
Yes,
Don't lead with the lead, Sam. This is basic YouTube 101.
Oops.
Just think of the watch time. Won't somebody think of the watch time?
I mean, we're over the 10:01 now, but I get you. We'll wait. We'll wait, everybody.
Someone says Goran for 25 HRK. I don't know what that is.
Hong Kong? No.
No, I don't know what that is. But he says, look at these two losers with dry lips. Haha, don't lick them now.
I actually wanted to.
You just did.
God damn it.
You won, Goran. You won, Goran.
Damn it.
You're very smart.
One Goran,
very
zero
smart.
Laymen.
Very smart, my man. And Ryan Swass, Sam and his cute dimples.
What can I say?
Please, that's disgusting.
What can I say?
Just don't. And King Yogi back with $20.
Oh, King, hello, mate.
Thank you very much. That's $20. How's everybody enjoying Warcraft 3? Everyone, of course.
Did you
is
end up?
loving it.
You didn't play it at all.
No, I didn't boot it up.
We took a stand.
Yeah, as soon as I saw this, I'm like, I don't want this product.
Yeah,
Like, this is garbage. Like, why would I want this? Anyway, coming back to what's going on with coronavirus, one other thing that we didn't mention.
Oh, more corona stuff?
There is
Okay.
more corona stuff, and that is that if things continue with the coronavirus, they don't get any better, there's a chance that PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X will be delayed, which is obviously pretty big.
Why is why is that exactly?
Sam? Why is that? Good question. So obviously China makes all of the things.
Yes.
And it's not just like, oh, well, we expect it at this point, so therefore, they've got lots of time to make it. The way it works with these factories is that they have this thing they have to make, and then this thing, and then at the end of the year or whatever, they'll make that thing, right? So if something gets delayed, all of that production schedule gets moved along, okay?
Yeah.
So there's a report here from Jefferies Group, and they said the video game sector is currently manufacturing or beginning to a once in several years product generation change for 2020 holiday season. They said if company shutdown exceeds a month or so, game schedules will be delayed. New consoles may likewise suffer supply issues from prolonged disruption ahead of their fall 2020 planned launches. Don't forget as well, these factories don't make all the components all the time. They might get a delay over here for some critical component, and then that delays the whole production process.
And then they're waiting for that part or
Correct.
whatever.
All that.
Is there any confirmation that there is any factories that have been shut down making any parts for these, or this is just speculation?
No, this is just speculation to do with the overall supply chain and what's going on with China and all that sort of stuff. But there is a chance that next-gen consoles, man, that's the real tragedy of coronavirus, people. That's it right there. That's the real... You can use that soundbite.
You can use that soundbite.
Reset error, you can use that soundbite.
I thought it was...
Add it to the list.
Yeah. I thought it was more like they were speculating if it continued and segregation of people happened more and more within China and around the world, this wouldn't sell. They don't want to release something that's going to be... No one's going into the store, no one's going out and getting it and shit like that. It would sell
more if everyone was housebound, because they have nothing else to do.
Yeah, true. I was walking like, can I get a one PlayStation 5, please?
They're like, yeah, one Series X coming right up, What? So anyway, that's what's going on with coronavirus. Also, on top of that, one thing we didn't mention is
more corona. Oh my god!
No, more esports tournaments have also been cancelled across Asia as a result of this as well. So it's very serious stuff. We like to make jokes about it, but of course, it is actually legitimately serious. People are dying. Sad times. So if you are in anywhere where you might be at risk, make sure you stay safe. Follow your local authorities' health advice. Do all the good things to not get the bad thing. That's the summary for the advice of the thing. So.
And on that, with more PlayStation.
And on that, with some more PlayStation news.
Okay, so VR, everybody. I feel like VR in terms of PlayStation's overall plan hasn't been huge. To be honest, I don't see them, promoting the shit out of that thing. I've now slowly but surely felt like VR is like a side bitch for them, really. It's a side thing for them.
Yeah, it's always that, though.
I thought originally when I saw VR coming out, I was like, okay, this is them really wanting to get into the space. Anyway, what we're trying to get to is PlayStation has now closed a Manchester VR studio.
Yes, which is sad, obviously. It closes doors after 5 years. The quote here is it intends to close it as part of our efforts to improve efficiency and operational effectiveness.
I mean, aren't you closing it?
We understand the entire studio has been made redundant. I mean, that's really, you feel it. You feel those lines.
It doesn't feel corporate at all. It feels like someone's, the tears are dropping
That's
while
right.
they're actually writing that. But like, it doesn't, it's very corporate. Like, you're closing the studio. You're not making anything more effective. You're just effectively closing it. That's what you're doing.
The team was working to create VR games that was formed back in 2015 to make VR games. It is the third UK studio PlayStation has closed over the course of this generation, with Gorilla Cambridge closing in 2017 and Evolution in 2016. Both studios had also worked on PlayStation VR projects before being closed. Oof. That's rough, and I guess it really does sort of. I think what you asked earlier about like what's happening with PlayStation VR. I think it's a valid question. I think they've made some good gains with VR, but it is a side bitch. You know what I mean? Like it's a thing on the side. It's not a core offering for them. But they seem to have quite a few studios making stuff for it. If you look at the library of VR games on PlayStation, it's pretty big at this point.
Is it?
Yep, it actually is. Like, there's a lot.
Yeah,
So
I think the biggest problem with that was the price point. $500 to buy some goggles. Like, that's a lot, man. It's pretty much a console. It's like you to jump into the VR space of PlayStation, you've got to double out on a console where you can. You can get them for a little bit cheaper, right? On PC, or there are other options.
Not really though, because if you want to play a game on PC on VR, you need a beefy graphics card, you need a full PC,
sure,
and you need the actual VR headset. I don't think, and they're not that much cheaper, by the way. I don't think it is VR. If you want to play VR, the best way you can do it cheaply is PSVR. I will say that.
Potentially.
No, definitely. Okay, that's 100% the case.
But by the time that you include the fact that there's a gigantic marketplace on PC compared to PlayStation, that's also a factor. So if I already know if I already have a PC, which a lot of people of course do, and they have a huge market to dive into, it also makes sense to maybe just jump into the PC VR market. But I hear you. There's also, it's maybe cheaper to do it on PlayStation. But yeah, I just haven't felt when I originally saw it come out, I'm like, oh, cool, they're really wanting to jump in that space. Just like Xbox with this augmented reality.
Yeah.
We haven't heard anything about that.
No, we haven't.
What are they doing with that? They did this whole showcase of showing what you can do in your living room and things jumping out of the walls and shit.
Still looks cool, but
it looks very cool, but then not a single announcement on that.
I think as well, it's sort of because I personally love VR and I really enjoy it, but I'm like, yeah, cool. I mean, VR's not there yet, no doubt about it. I was reading a headline recently that Facebook are very disappointed with how Oculus is performing, and it's really behind their their sort of even more pessimistic projections. It's even behind that. So obviously VR is not quite getting the momentum that people had hoped for, but at the same time as well, I think it's a great piece of tech. Hopefully it continues to exist as a side thing. I don't necessarily think it'll become core. I don't think it's going to take over gaming.
Yeah.
But I would be sad if it evaporated. That would be sad.
That would suck, yeah. And I do remember the Zuck doing this whole presentation showing, what his plans are for Facebook in terms of playing virtual cards or playing pool or drawing things in an office, and it all looked very promising and cool, but it is very cumbersome to have this thing on. Maybe augmented reality maybe is the future. Who knows? In terms of you can see the space around you and you can put things around you and whatever.
It also does, actually, Phil Spencer back in the day, or not back in the day, like a little while ago, was saying, I don't think VR is going to be a thing this generation. Maybe he was right. Sony kind of...
Maybe for once, Phil was right with his...
Sony clapped back and they're like, no, it's a thing, man. It's a big thing, whatever. And they said, no, we like to sort of create demand for things or try and predict what people might want in the future or something.
Like iPhones and shit like
whatever.
that.
So basically, but maybe Phil had a point. Maybe VR is not going to be a thing. Xbox have been very public about the fact that they're not backing VR very hard.
Sure.
So maybe it was a smart play for them.
They've also called the right things, like not having a lot of IP on their console. It was a good call.
The Kinect.
And it worked. And making sure that you only talk about the power of the console. I mean, that worked for them too.
And not being able to trade in your games, very smart play for Xbox. Sport.
And the Kinect.
Sports.
Oh, you said the Kinect already.
I said the Connect.
Yes, you did.
So, obviously Xbox really... That's
Phil's got it
that's
covered.
why they won this generation
They
so
did.
convincingly. And also because of Crackdown 3. I mean,
that too.
That was ultimately
I think that was their
and
Shaq
sea of memes.
Sea of memes,
So,
of course. Apparently it's
that's
gotten
it.
better. We should revisit that and do a Let's Go.
I know, everyone says that's quite good now. Sifodius with $6.99 Canadian, I think. Will Plague Incorporated bring out a coronavirus update too soon? I don't think they would do that. They actually were on the record recently saying, please don't think our game is actual advice on how to handle coronavirus. So the game is selling through the roof. I don't think they'd be tasteless enough to do a coronavirus update. It would sell though.
It would sell.
Dark Democracy with $2 says, thanks for always giving good quality reviews, guys. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you, man.
I'm pretty happy with our Birds of Prey review and how it landed, by the way.
I'm pretty happy with that. The like ratio.
I think we were quite vindicated on that one as well, because it's like literally that has a higher user score, Rotten Tomatoes rating than the Joker does.
I know. I watched Chris Stuckman's interview.
That's ridiculous. And actually, I watched Chris Stuckman as well. If you guys haven't checked out Chris Stuckman, he's a really good movie reviewer.
He's like the dude.
Really like him. There's actually lots of movie reviewers, and I found this other girl by the name of Grace Randolph, who I've never seen before.
Oh, okay.
She's so good.
Really?
I really liked her review. She was really good because she was kind of talking about, because obviously like a lot of the response to Birds of Prey is like the women thing and the woke thing, but she really did a good job of breaking it down like on both sides. And anyway, I really liked her review. I think she did a great job. Chris Stuckman was basically like, oh, it's so terrible when all these like, film critics are, oh, violence is so terrible, the Joker is awful, blah blah blah. And then, with Birds of Prey, it's not quite the same, but it's quite similar.
Yes, of course.
Like indiscriminate violence, and all these people are like so brave,
So brave.
so powerful. All these critics are like better than the Joker. It's like what the.
Well,
I think film criticism is balked at this point.
Yeah,
like it's completely like people like to give game criticism some shit. Film criticism is just completely lost its mind.
And I actually,
really had.
I didn't really know until recently the actual way that they review, like they break down the review process in Rotten Tomatoes. I didn't actually know until recently that if everyone gives it a 60%, it gets 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. That does not make sense. Do you know what I mean? Like that does not.
It does. It does. No, it does not.
It
make
does
sense.
not make sense.
Yeah, I agree. So.
And again, Chris Stuckman calls that out, going like everyone gave this a 6, but it got like higher than the Joker.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Do you know, and that Jeremy Jones guy's, the guy that has the red background? I like him as well. He's really good. There's some good movie reviews out there.
There is.
I really like a lot of their content. So, okay, anyway, let's get back to the actual video games. Actually, sorry, now we've got some more super chats. We've got 500 rubles.
They just came out of nowhere.
Sort of just like appeared.
Holy shit.
Anthony, whatever. I will rather face and survive NCV than take chances with sharks, crocs, and various venomous nopes on your island.
Venomous nopes, I like that.
Venomous nopes is really good. That's 500 rubles.
That's a nice name.
Thank you. James Walder with $5. Thank you for everything you do, and most importantly, neighbours or home and away, dude. You've got the wrong people, okay?
We never watch that stuff.
No one watches that stuff.
Everybody watches it. It's huge in the UK.
And the UK.
Gigantic in the UK.
Not in Australia. No one in Australia watches it. No.
Alicia, my girlfriend, loves that stuff
Does
too.
she?
God, yeah.
That's disgusting.
She loves it. I don't know.
Houska with $15. Toss a coin to your layman. One layman loot box, please. Thank you very much, friend. And
Thank you very much.
Howler Nerox, hey game, I love your content. With all the talk about Warcraft 3 Refunded, I was wondering if you all ever checked out Total War Warhammer Trilogy at all. No, but I own them, but I never played them.
Oh, that's good.
So that's like basically about 80% of my Steam library falls into that catalog. So anyway, guys, that's
I
the
don't think we can't
chats.
get down to the next super
Yeah,
chats.
we'll get Brian. Actually, we'll get to Brian. We'll scroll up a bit. Brian says, "Do drop." Brian Dutler. We're not dancing for you, Brian. Sam, dance for Brian.
We already did that.
All right, let's keep going now. Let's get right back to the news, people.
All right, and it's our boy.
It's our boy Jason.
It's our boy Jason.
So Jason Schreier of Kotaku, very successful in sort of breaking news, getting behind the scenes. He has very strong connections across the industry. Recently, there was an announcement from Ubisoft that they were working on 5 AAA games between April 2020 and March 2021. That's a lot of games.
That is a lot of games.
And he says that...
I just broke these glasses.
Oh, no, you can fix those. That's fine.
Yeah, that's right.
So, Jason Schreier says, anyone holding out hope for Splinter Cell is once again going to be disappointed.
How are they not filling that market?
It's Assassin's Creed and Far Cry are the missing ones, because we already knew we were going to have Watch Dog Legions, Gods and Monsters, and Rainbow Six Quarantine. So, there's 2 interesting things about this. Number 1, it's confirmed that there's no Splinter Cell currently being released this year. I have heard that there's definitely
There's
stuff
something in the
going
works.
on at Ubisoft for Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
What that is, I have no idea, or when it will be, no idea.
Look, yeah.
But we do know, and he's saying here, there's going to be an Assassin's Creed and a Far Cry released over the next 12 months. That's big.
Yeah, I mean, that's good, I guess. But, like, it's really the Splinter Cell. Everyone wants that because there's a huge hole right now in the espionage kind of Solid Snake thing, right? That's gone. It's not coming back. No one wants to have a Metal Gear Survive 2, so they really want a new Splinter Cell. I remember playing Splinter Cell on Xbox. I don't remember what the name was. Remember that multiplayer where you would have to, like, be
I know
a
what you
guard?
mean. I remember the name, but I can't
So awesome. I don't know what that was called.
Mercenaries rings, but it's not that. The chat will know what the name of it was.
Oh, something, I don't know whatever. But anyway, they've made fantastic games in the past. That's my point. And I think that if they come out with even a semi-decent game, everyone will jump on that shit because everyone wants that, and there's not much of a market for that at the moment.
For sure.
And I'm surprised it's taken this long to even show, a logo trailer, like something to be like, we're working on this
No, but
shit.
I appreciate they don't do that. Like, I really hate now when companies are like, here's a logo, and you're like, fuck you, Bethesda. You know what I mean? Like, I hate that shit now.
I
hate
like
that
them
shit.
to say, look, guys, we're working on this. Just, we're not ready to show anything, but we want to show you that we're working on it.
No, I just think they do it for social media shares and stuff and whatever. Like, I really hate that now. I'm like, show me something when you've got something. I don't want to see the logo reveal because it's just meaningless. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, you're working on Elder Scrolls 6. Obviously, you're working on, Diablo 4, whatever. Like, just showing us a logo is not going to help. You know?
I mean, sure. It's just, I like them saying we're talking with you. We're talking with you. We're letting you know.
Yeah, I know.
Happening.
I do hear that as well. So yeah. Anyway, look. The other thing from Ubisoft is Beyond Good and Evil 2 isn't part of Ubisoft's plan for next financial year. This is an interesting one because
we haven't heard anything on this for a while.
No,
now.
we have heard. We've seen some gameplay, in fact.
I remember them showing the gameplay build.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, that was a while now.
We've seen something, but I have spoken to people and they keep telling me this is like really, really ambitious. I mean, we're talking about they've got some very big plans for what this is going to be. I mean, they want to build sort of like a platform for the future for their game, and obviously live service features into that, sure. But they really want to break their old Ubisoft model and do something quite different with Beyond Good and Evil 2. So that's why this game is taking a very long time. But you also have to wonder whether or not there's some actual legitimate problems with it, because this is a long time to get to this point. Yep. And, when games spend this long in development without really showing much at all, it does sort of ring those alarm bells like, are they really just a bit confused? Is it lost in its direction? They're having production problems, whatever else. So either way, we know Beyond Good and Evil is definitely not planned for the next fiscal year.
Yeah.
We're going to have to wait until like 2021 April, after April 2021,
2030.
whatever, maybe end of next year before we see it.
Yeah, I remember that's definitely sometimes what happens. Like Anthem, for instance, we didn't hear it. Like, it was just a big mess for 6 years, right? Because there was no direction, whatever. But then there's other things like Final Fantasy VII Remake, where we're all like, oh, what's going on here? There might be some problems. We haven't heard anything about this. They dropped the demo at E3 that we played, and we've also now got a release date. And the demo was absolutely fantastic. So it doesn't always mean that, but maybe, look, even seeing the game build that they were trying to show, it looked like a gigantic, ambitious game. It looked like it was like open world.
Open universe.
Yeah. Like, it's gigantic.
Like No Man's Sky, but without the procedural
but
bullshit.
good. No,
but good.
No, but I mean, so I get that it's ambitious. So maybe that's just what's going on here.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, maybe they had to just go back to the drawing board monetization-wise. Like all the other games that Ubisoft have done.
I don't think they were at that. Look, I'm going to say that
maybe they weren't at that point.
They weren't at that point yet. They were still trying to. They're still trying to build a game here. I think that the monetization, which obviously features into the discussion throughout, but I feel like that's still a ways off for them. So. The other thing that we've got from Ubisoft is, if I change everything, another tweet from Jason Schreier. This is about the game called Skull and Bones. Now, you guys might remember Skull and Bones, but you'd be forgiven if you didn't. It's the pirate ship one, like the naval combat thing that was basically like, let's take the ship combat from Assassin's Creed and make it a game. Okay?
Black Flag, but always
correct.
Always in the ship.
So, Jason Schreier, someone asked what's going on with that. Jason Schreier said, lots of reboots, creative director left towards the end of 2018. It will be a while of that one still. I have also heard that this game has been rebooted multiple times. I have not heard anything about the creative director leaving. That's news to me. But I certainly heard that there was massive issues with that game and landing it. We played it at E3. And
I actually cannot even remember what this was like now. Like, we played so many games at E3.
I remember walking out and... actually, did I even play it? I'm trying to remember.
Oh, there's so many games. We play like 20 games at least.
No, I
in
definitely...
3 days.
I'm like 90% certain I played this at E3.
Okay.
But either way, I remember having a conversation with the Ubisoft person, and I'm like, listen, you need to tell your people, do not release this game. Like, I literally said that. Because I'm like, this is so not anything at this point. It's just the naval combat from Assassin's Creed, but a game. That's it.
That's
there was
right.
nothing else to
that.
it.
And
Did we play it?
and you crawl to the top and the guy can look out. Yes, I'm pretty sure we played this.
Okay, yeah, I'm 90% certain I played this.
I'm pretty sure we did.
But either way, I definitely remember that conversation with the Ubisoft person, and I'm like,
Yeah.
don't release this game, because it will just be destroyed.
Yeah.
It was just, there's nothing there. And then obviously, you've got such a great opportunity to make Black Flag 2. You know, like, you could make a great pirate sim that's an entirely new IP that, because obviously Sea of Memes proves there's demand for pirate shit. Sid Meier's Pirates Before that. Everyone wants the great, long-lasting pirate RPG. This could be that. But right now, they're just like, how about we get in the boats and shoot people? Do you know what I
But
mean?
maybe there's a middle ground there. Maybe they just make Black Flag 2 and just really make a big, interesting, deep multiplayer.
God, that was so good, Black Flag.
I didn't play it.
You know, dude, it's such a great
Yeah,
game.
no, Conrad,
Go back
even our non-gaming brother, loved it.
Go back, if you haven't played Assassin's Creed Black Flag, go and play it. It's
There are only a few games that I haven't played, everybody.
It's such a fantastic game. Like, it's it's easily my favorite Assassin's Creed. So, okay.
Are we here?
Top news, top story, guys.
everybody.
This is it. We're here now, finally. This is a good one. This is exactly what Blizzard have been saying about their game, right? Okay, so obviously, Warcraft 3 Reforged, biggest news story of the year. Thank you very much, Blizzard. We love you.
Yes.
Blizzard President J. Allen Brack has been notably silent on the subject, hasn't said a word, and he's finally broken his silence. Not to us, of course,
No.
but to investors, because
course.
they're the ones that matter at the end of the day.
They're the ones that care.
J. Allen doesn't need to speak to us lowly consumers of his products.
Nah.
The lowly players. No. It's the investors, okay? So here we go. During a Q4 earnings call, President J. Allen Brack was asked about the game's rocky launch over a week, which has seen backlash from fans accusing it of performance issues, cutscenes visibly different from those shown at the game's 2018 announcement, changing popular elements of the original game, an end-user license agreement change that hurts the custom game community. Blah, blah, blah. It now has 0.5 on Metacritic as a user
hasn't
score.
gone any lower.
I think someone said in the chat that it went down to 0.4 for a bit, but then it went back up. I checked just before. It's not. So, either way, he responded. Here is his quote. Concerning Warcraft 3 Reforged, honestly, it's been a bit of a hard week.
Yes.
You can really, I mean, that sums it up right there.
I really feel that.
It's been a hard week. Brack said during the call, our community has come to expect really amazing things from us.
Not anymore.
And
not last 2
not
years.
anymore. That's, first of all, that's not true. And we've heard from them that we did not achieve that bar. But we stand behind our games. And we have consistently shown that not only do we support them, but we continue to build on them even after launch. And we're committed to doing that here as well. So we're going to continue to update the game, and we'll continue to update the community with our plans going forward. When he says that, like, we stand behind our games, it's kind of like using it as a human shield.
Yeah,
like,
so
to like
true.
block all of the tomatoes being thrown at us, you know?
Look, I mean, when he came out at BlizzCon 2019, there was a sincerity to it, right? But
Well,
I have
you're
now
gonna trigger the
realized,
chat. You're gonna trigger the chat.
No. There was a sincerity to it, I thought. That's what I'm trying to say.
He did get emotional in those moments.
Exactly. Now, we can all see it's probably just all
That was-
very elaborate acting, okay?
So, it was all bullshit.
It looked quite real when he did it. I'm like, okay, maybe he's like really hurting right now.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, no, I don't know, Alan. I don't know, Alan Brack.
Yeah.
J. Allen Brack.
J. Allen
I don't know,
Brack.
Alan.
J. Allen Brack.
J. Allen Brack.
Look, I think that this is an atrocious quote. Again, it really fails to take responsibility. I really hate how they speak
Corporate
to
shit.
us. Like, Blizzard used to be just like
Gamers.
one of the boys or
Yep.
girls, one of the boys,
One
or
of the
girls,
lads,
one of the
or
lads,
lasses.
or lasses.
Yes.
But now they're just fuckwits. Like our community has come to expect amazing things from us, and we've heard that we did not achieve that bar. It's such passive language. Like, there are no active verbs in that sentence. The right way to phrase that is, we have released something substandard, and our community is mad at us. They are right to be mad at us. We take full responsibility. That's the way, man. Just like full active verbs and just none of this bullshit double speak. But that's exactly what this is. It's more of that. It's like before when they said, we're sorry that you
didn't have
the experience that you wanted.
Yes.
It's like, it's everything except taking responsibility and
It's very
owning
weak.
it, you know?
It is, I mean, I don't know if he's scared of the Activision CEO, or is he more scared of the community? I don't know what it is, but this
China.
This just reeks of just being cowardly, you know, like just
So
like
bad.
I just want you just to be real with us, dude.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it's terrible.
Go back to just being like Diablo 2 guy, you know. That'd be good.
That would be nice.
Or even
make some good
Overwatch when it
games.
came out, you know, one game of the year, and I think it's still a great game.
I think Overwatch was definitely a crowning achievement for Blizzard. There's no doubt
especially with
about
their loot boxes.
that. Yeah, well, besides the loot boxes, it was a crowning achievement. That was a fantastic game that was beautifully beta tested for a long time. They had excellent community interaction. I think Kaplan has done a really great job in engaging that community and being open and transparent. You know, like, obviously nothing's perfect. I'm sure the chat's going to light up with all sorts of Overwatch complaints, but I think we can all agree that Overwatch as a product was a very well put together product,
I agree.
well released.
And I think end-to-end DSK loot box is bad. I get that, for sure. You know, the constant tuning of that game, the constant updates, the characters, all this kind of stuff. Jeff from the Overwatch team, sitting in front of the camera saying he's really excited. Like, he's always wanting to talk with the community, and I feel like out of all of the people in that company, Jeff is the one that's actually on the front lines talking to the consumer.
And I remember it used to be like that with World of Warcraft, with like Ghostcrawler and those sorts of dudes who... The World of Warcraft community people used to be really good at just real talk all the time. And they just own it, you know what I mean? And just to see how much their communication style has changed, the quality of their releases has changed, their focus has changed, their corporate structure, all of that stuff. Like, it is fundamentally a different company. I know it's been said, but I mean, I'm seeing that myself. As I said, I held on hope for Blizzard that it was, you know, still there, but it just, this sort of stuff makes you feel like, nah, man, it's not there. Like, it's... I don't know. It makes me sad. It makes me very, very sad.
And I know we've said this comment before, but I just don't know if... Is this Activision doing this, or is this just Blizzard doing this?
No, this is Blizzard now. This is the point. Like, all
I mean,
this
are we
stuff, this
sure
is
about
Blizzard.
that?
Yeah,
I
man.
mean, this whole push towards mobile with Diablo Immortal and being being out of tune with the audience by like headlining that, you know, like is that pressure from Activision wanting to impress their investors?
But it's, as I said, they're just intertwined now. Like, at the end of the day, they are one thing. They have been assimilated into the Activision, you know, shareholder-led kind of approach. Like, this is Blizzard. This is the reality now. You can't separate them. It's just like they are one and the same at this point.
And I wonder if like Bungie, that they could just walk away. I don't know if they can. Right?
It's way too.
This is different,
way too
isn't it?
intertwined.
Yeah, this is too different.
Yeah, and Bungie was a publisher. A developer that, you know, Activision published their game, but Activision Blizzard is a joint entity, and they are very much joined at the hip, man. Like, there's no way those two are coming apart. So, look, anyway, that's it. Very disappointing statement from him. Look, there is a further update to this, by the way, which is Blizzard has changed its refund policy for Warcraft 3, allowing refunds on request. Now, this was...
For the time being.
For the time being, yeah. So this was actually reported a few days ago when it was clear that automated refunds were being issued to everyone, okay? But it wasn't announced. It wasn't official policy, and there were some people being like, oh, I don't know, you know, it just didn't work for me, whatever else. Some people were still talking about exclusions and it wasn't happening for them. This is basically Blizzard making the public announcement that yes, no matter how long you have played Warcraft Reforged for, if you want a refund, you will get a refund. The exact quote is... in a note on Battle.net, Blizzard said, "We want to give players the option of a refund if they feel that Warcraft 3 Reforged does not provide the experience they wanted. This policy change is in place for the time being." So right now, if you have Warcraft 3 Reforged, even if you've played a ton of it, you can still get your money back by refunding it, by asking Blizzard for a refund. They will give that to you. I know people are like, oh, good guy Blizzard. No, fuck Blizzard. This is garbage.
This is only a response from the gigantic wave of backlash. They would have. It's not them sitting there going, you know, guys, let's do the right thing. Let's just, you know, let's do this. No, it's not how it is.
Sure.
Now the thing is, a lot of people that aren't like hardcore gamers or that are even following the news, a lot of the, like, you know, I wonder how many refunds they're actually going to do. I wonder.
I think a lot. I'm seeing a lot of people. I mean,
but
like,
that's our little bubble.
No,
you know?
but again, like, we always live in this bubble.
We
I know
live in
how many people
the gamer
actually
bubble.
tweet at me or comment at me about getting refunds or anger or whatever else. This is the most number of refund tweets, comments, whatever that I've ever received. Like, okay, I'm not saying, obviously, they're going to make their money on this. They're going to make profit on this product. But my point is, I really believe that a much larger than average number of people have got a refund on this product because of how bad it is, because of how much press there's been, all that sort of stuff. I've definitely seen it in my own community.
Yeah. I mean, the last major refund, I believe, was 76, right? I feel like that was the last.
No, they never did. They only were forced to do that in Australia.
Australia.
I don't
In
think
Australia.
they were ever giving refunds ever for Fallout 76 on a mass scale. So, I mean, yeah, imagine that. Like, how about we charge you for Fallout 76 a subscription?
Yeah.
Balls on those people. Anyway, guys, that's that. There's one more Blizzard story that is going to warm your heart. Don't worry about all the issues that we've experienced.
So happy.
Blizzard Savior is on the way. I'm talking, of course, about Diablo Immortal. The alpha test is planned for this year. That was also announced in the earnings call that they had. They said Blizzard will hold regional alpha tests for Diablo Immortal later this year. The purpose of these tests, Activision says, is to receive invaluable feedback from players about the game. No further information about the alpha test was announced, but they're slated to happen sometime in mid-2020.
I mean, look,
This is
hardcore dev here, right? So I know how hard coding is, I promise. How hard is it, though, to get a mobile game going? This is now 2 years.
I think
it's a
they've
mobile
had to
game.
do a huge. I'm sure they've had to do a huge retooling of it.
Right? It has to be.
Sure.
They've pulled out probably every single loot box and microtransaction possible. But, like, even then, we have... I mean, Warcraft Reforged is a perfect example of something that's recently come out that is still garbage, you know? And it was such a half-assed approach. Are we going to see this with Diablo, that they didn't even give a shit? They were more concerned with making the investors happy. And when it does come out, it still is just this mobile garbage, you know? Who
Yeah,
knows?
well, that's quite likely, but we'll see. Anyway, guys, that's Diablo Immortal, but let's get back into some super chats. Someone says, actually, we've got a few here we'll get to. Yeah, that's good. Tyler Wood with $5 says, hilarious, feels like I'm sitting there with my mates. Thank you very much, friend. Good to have you with us.
Good to have you here.
And Gabe Anguiano, $5 says, is Sam gay? That's a very good question.
What do you guys think?
What is the chat think?
What does my girlfriend think? She's not sure either.
Brian, you did say that thing about you and McGregor and going to see Moulin Rouge twice with your mother.
Someone in the comment section, which I hearted, I believe, said that he also went and saw it with his mum.
There you go.
After he watched Priscilla Crown of the Desert.
Puts on lipstick after he posts the comment, you know. Brian Hackney, $5. Sony likes to tout they have sold 4 million VR units, but they don't acknowledge that that's only a 4% adoption rate. That's a very small number.
That is actually
yeah.
Look, I mean, that's
4 million still 4 million though.
because, I mean, you well, is it though? If you have 100 million installed bases, that is small.
John Paul Fuller Jackson, $2 says, I'm waiting for the Angry Joe review of Birds of Prey.
That'll be good.
That'll be worth watching. Can I just say, I love Other Joe. Do you watch Other, you know?
Other Joe, does he have his own channel?
No, he doesn't have his own channel. He's the nicest guy. I love how he chimes in. He's just like, he's my favorite.
Other
the whole
Joe.
Angry Joe crew.
Such a great name too.
And Other Joe is just such a fucking lad. I would
Other
have
Joe.
so many beers with Other Joe.
Yeah,
He's so good.
But not Joe.
No, I love Joe too. Don't get me wrong, but I tune in for Other Joe at this point. I really love him. Colton DK, Far Cry 6 could take place in Russia. Okay, didn't know that.
Cool.
Fair enough.
Great.
Junis says, hey, hope you're well. He says, gave €10. Thank you very much. Did Sam ever get to play Disco Elysium? Haha, no.
Haha, no.
That has reading in it, so no, that doesn't really work. Loved Ralph's review of it. Much love from Estonia. Thank you very much, my friend. Francois Bergsman, Blizzard Unfinished.
That's a great quote.
A 17-year-old game. Even Bethesda doesn't know how to do this.
True.
That's true. Thanks, thank you very much, Francois. Brendan Carter with $10. Tossing a coin to my witches. Here's to another meme-filled, fantastic new year of gaming. Thank you for your hard work. Super Siaki, hey, what's going on, my man? He's my he was from my chat when I was playing through Final Fantasy. I'm
very
gonna
nice.
stream a bit more Final Fantasy soon because that new patch looks amazing.
You want to stream again?
No, just for Final Fantasy.
okay,
Because I always want to do Final Fantasy with my stream because it was amazing. And Screen gave us 99 pence, and he gave just a little poop emoji.
No, he gave us a dump, the lemon dump.
Oh, that's nice.
That's
appreciate
nice.
that. That's
Appreciate the
pretty
lemon
cool. See,
dump.
there's lots of love in the chat here for other Joe. See, I'm not the only one.
Other Joe's nice.
I actually think, by the way, can I say, Delrith, he also does good game reviews.
Is he
he
the other
does
guy
the
that does
rapid
the
fire reviews.
Is he the one that also
No,
jumps
no.
in on the movie reviews?
I think that's Alex, maybe. He does the news stuff.
Okay.
But Delrith is actually good, because Delrith is a hardcore gamer. Like, he sits there and he will play a game for like 80 hours. And he actually really knows what he's talking about, and he really gives good reviews. Like, I tune in for those rapid fire. I think people got really angry at the start. We're like, no, we only want to hear reviews from Joe. But I think Delrith fought really hard to actually, like, get his name out there.
Yes.
And I think people see that he makes a good product. So check out the rapid fire reviews from Delrith if you haven't. He is a good dude that makes good content. I really believe that. Anyway, that's that for the shout-outs. We've done shout-outs for Grace Randolph, Chris Stuckman, Jeremy Johns, Angry Joe. We'll push ourselves out of business.
There's one
if you want good game reviews, go watch on movie reviews. Go watch other channels. You know?
If you want, there's one place. Don't go. It's Skill Up, everybody. Okay? Promise you now.
Totally. Steer clear of that, man.
Steer clear of that shit.
Yeah, that's the one. Okay, let's get back to the news, guys. Good news. Finally, after all this time, Metro Exodus is getting a PC release. I mean, it's a big day. We never thought it would come to PC, but it's finally happening.
God.
Metro Exodus coming to PC on February 15th, 2020. I mean, I wonder what's going to run like on PC. I wonder what the optimization
Rap is so funny. It's going to be
just...
everybody. This is the oldest meme in the book, but look, it is finally coming to Steam, right? On the 15th.
That's it. It's coming to Steam after a year exclusive on the Epic Games Store.
God, it's been a year already.
Yep.
Wow, man.
It's now coming to Steam. It says it's releasing on February 15th, 2020 at these times, so you can check it out. If you haven't played it, I recommend playing it. It was actually one of my top 10 games of last year. I think it is a really brilliant atmospheric shooter. It's not perfect, obviously. There's a few issues with it, but overall, I really loved it. And if you haven't yet played it because Epic Games bad, then you should play it because Steam good. God bless Gaben.
Steam good.
So, yeah, that's a thing that's coming, and we appreciate it, and thanks very much. Did you play Metro Exodus?
I did not. No.
You never played it, really? We should have covered it on the channel.
There was one that...
No, I don't think you did, actually. We didn't cover it. That's it, so...
What, where... No,
that's it.
Oh, Kingdom Come, though. We definitely played that game.
Oh, here we go.
Getting hungry.
Here's some news, actually. Speaking of Epic Games bad, here's some news from known Epic shill up. And he says, bruh, Epic Games bad. No, he doesn't. Says Kingdom Come Deliverance is free on the Epic Store next week. Holy shit, incredible game. And since my review, they've patched it about 8,000 times, so all the kinks are ironed out. Grab it if you haven't on February 14th. In before...
You know you're a loser when you read out your own tweets when they say,
I'm quoting myself.
He said, everybody.
Known Epic shill up says... But no, seriously, this is actually true. Kingdom Come Deliverance next week is going to be free on the Epic Games Store. I know lots of people hate Epic, whatever. If you don't want to download it,
it's worth
that's your choice.
It's worth a free game.
Well, a lot of people are like, it's never worth that Chinese spyware on my machine. You know, they'll say that unironically.
Look, I didn't love this game personally, but some people will love it. You know, the voice acting was fantastic. The world building was awesome. It was definitely worth tuning in if you do like that whole slow burn stuff in a medieval setting.
It's like 50 to 80 hours long, depending on what you do. It's got some DLC as well that'll extend that. I think it was a great game. When it launched, it was super buggy and had lots of issues, but they've patched it a lot and they've worked all that out. I really recommend, if you have not checked out Kingdom Come Deliverance... Oh, by the way, if you are Epic Games bad, you can get this on Game Pass as well, I believe. So that's the alternative. But I really recommend checking it out. It's a good game, man.
It's on Steam too, right?
Yeah, sure. But
so
what I'm saying is, if you only want to get it for free or pay like $1, then they're your options. Do you know what I mean?
They're your options, people. They're your options.
We are now getting close to the end of things. Let's see if Colton, DK, 45 Dogecoin coins, Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Nice.
Did you actually Atlas with $5? We're going to come to that story soon. So yes, the answer is yes. And there was someone else we missed up here. He says, the Zeitghost says, $10. Thank you very much, friend. Check out The Critical Drinker. He does great sarcastic breakdowns of movie and TV and no shipping.
Oh, no shipping metaphors.
So that means he's not a competitor. That's good then. That's good.
He's obviously safe. Much better.
He's steering clear of Skill Up's territory. So that's it. So guys, we've got a few more stories. Actually, the guy who just gave the thing for the $5.
The thing?
This is the story right now, actually. Rod Ferguson, who is head of Coalition, the guys that make Gears of War, he is leaving the Coalition to go and head up the Diablo franchise. Ooh. He says, leaving is bittersweet, as I love the Gears family, the fans, and everyone at the Coalition and Xbox. Thank you. It has been an honor and privilege to work with you all.
I think, look, Gears has been great, and I think they did a good Gears
I wouldn't say
year.
It has been Gears.
No,
I think this Gears was good.
That's what I mean, sorry. This Gears was good. I thought it was a great paying homage to like the old school way of just like hoorah, you know. It worked. I liked it. I think, you know, this one was actually, it landed quite well.
Yeah.
maybe that's a good thing to leave on, you know? Maybe it's like...
that's a good swan song, I agree.
It's like, I did it right here, time to move on, and I think Diablo 4, I'm guessing, is in trouble. No, who knows? But let's face it, having someone on the team that maybe has had some wins recently, especially, get him on board, and maybe Diablo and the fans will have more confidence in Diablo. And I think that's the name of the game. I think people need to have more confidence in Diablo right now.
Yes, I agree.
But I was like, I'm kind of with this.
Look, can I just say, as a sec... No, I agree. I don't know what this means for Diablo. I think anyone that claims what they think know what this means for Diablo is just bullshit. But I really... Can I just say, I watched some Diablo 4 gameplay last night. Do you remember what the Diablo 4 thing looked like? The gameplay?
Of course, yeah. They did the cinematic and then it jumped into gameplay. It looked like exactly the same.
It doesn't look very exciting. Do you know what I mean? Like, as I'm playing Wilson right now on Laws of Mayhem, and they look very similar, man. They look really similar. And Wilson comes out now, and that Diablo is like, oh, at least not for 2 or 3 years or whatever. I'm like, I don't know, man. I feel like, here's my theory on this. I really feel like Path of Exile poses a question to the ARPG landscape that no one has yet answered, which is like, why would I play another game at this point? If every other game is so similar to Path of Exile, and Path of Exile gives it all to you for free, like with an incredible monetization model, and it's amazing quality, and they're constantly updating and constantly expanding, and they're about to update the graphics engine, why would I buy other games? Like, I just feel like the ARPG franchise needs a massive step forward, and Blizzard, I feel like it's their job to do that with Diablo 4. And from what I've seen of Diablo 4, it does not look like that at all. You know, it really does not.
Yeah,
so,
I feel like Blizzard has been trendsetters a lot of the times along the way, right?
Yeah.
Now, they had an original vision. It has been leaked that it was going to be like a Dark Souls style Diablo.
Yeah.
Now, they went back to the drawing board and canned that idea, but I think that idea was courageous. No, but it was something that maybe was needed. They wouldn't have arrived at that idea without brainstorming of like, cool, do we need to change this up? And I truly believe a Diablo 4 that came along that kind of reshaped how we play Diablo probably is needed right now, because like, for me to jump in and do that same camera angle and the same, you know, just a swarm of enemies and you just like smash them and like, I mean, cool, I guess. We haven't seen it now for 7 years since Diablo 3, but I'm not overly excited about that because I just feel like it's more Diablo 3. I want something else now, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, someone else also mentioned Grim Dawn in the chat as well, which I haven't actually played, but apparently it's a really excellent ARPG. I don't know, man. I don't know. I really hope that Blizzard can pull something big with Diablo 4, because what I saw is not getting me super excited for that. I mean, it looks cool in a sense that like it's another ARPG, but it doesn't look like, cool, this is the next step forward for that genre. You know what I mean?
And I mean, this might annoy people, but like, they could have maybe had their cake and eat it too, in terms of like, maybe the Diablo Immortal, which is going to be a meme, could have been that old style, and they could have played with something with the Diablo 4, you know? Like, I would have loved to see that, you know? The kind of third person, it's very slow, drawn out battles in that dark sense, has a lot of Blizzard, a lot of Diablo lore. It would have been sick. Yeah. But, you know, we're obviously just going to get a product, aesthetically at least, that looks very similar.
We'll see, obviously. Nandor is back with another 1,000 Huffington points. He says, I actually got to play with...
We still don't know what that is. We just always say Huffington points.
He said, I played with Delrith recently when he was covering Shadowkeep. Really great dude. His industry and game knowledge is substantial. Totally agree with you. So, I don't know how to say your name. Raghavendra.
This is the game that we play, yes.
Off-topic question, who is better, Virat Kohli or Steve Smith? Appreciate your content, though. I think this person thinks we play cricket or know what cricket is.
Oh, that's why.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, my friend, but we are not that type of Australian.
Well, I think, if we're talking about cricket, I think Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan is definitely the best.
better cricketer.
That's right. Riley Lewis says, hey guys, long-time fan. I am an Unreal Engine 4 dev as well, so I have to know, what's your most loved and hated game mechanics ever? Man, I don't know. That's a really tough question to answer.
It's actually good. I never thought of, like, what's my most hated game mechanics?
Loot boxes?
Is he talking like physics-wise and stuff?
Now. What?
Like in terms of like certain games that has physics engines that are annoying, or is he talking
No, just like, in general. To be honest, man, it's a great question, but I think it's going to take a while to answer because we need to think about it. But yes, appreciate the question. I'm sorry we can't answer it right now.
We'll come back to it.
We'll come back to it at some point if we can remember. But as I said, it's a bit tricky to answer those sort of questions on the spot. Cup of Falcon. I was really happy to finally tune in live. So naturally, my NBN carked at about 15 minutes in. Here's some money's Cup Falcon. Thank you very much,
man.
friend.
Oh, that's Australian too. Cool.
Stephen with £10. The meme of Blizzard being crowned by the 0.5 Metacritic score made me laugh more than anything.
That was his, actually. Okay.
That was my meme.
Now I should have taken it.
You should have taken the credit. That's
Anyway.
right. Standard. You take all the credit.
No,
because
anytime Ralph does one thing, he's like, by the way, guys, that was me.
That's
You know,
right.
I'm like, alright, let him have his
Nandor
one.
is back again with another 1,000 Huffington points. GeForce Now is the bomb, yo. A real game changer. Great price, great service, especially for the casual market where you can skip buying a high-end PC. I agree.
Is it out yet for those?
It's
not for us.
out North America,
Yeah.
Europe, etc. GeForce Now, if you haven't checked it out, go and check it out. It uses your existing purchases and you can stream them anywhere you like.
Multiple storefronts, pretty cool.
It's very good.
Very,
so
very
go and
cool.
check it out if you haven't. We did a video on it earlier this week. Sam, make those strings the same
How
length
about I
as
don't?
Adam. Yeah,
Look
that's
at
right.
that. Huh?
That's right. That's perfect. You should just do that. The chat will love it.
Well, I'll give it to you. I don't know how to. There we go. Okay,
And Nandor is back. He says the Huffington points are Hungarian forint. There you go. There you go. That's it.
Well,
so
thank
guys,
you.
we're nearly
gonna
wrapping
still
up.
call them Huffington
We've
points,
got a
though.
few minutes left. Two quick
two
stories here.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Remake PS4 exclusive expiration. Exclusivity expiration also delayed to April 10th.
When I saw the headlines, a lot of the headlines were just like exclusivity, you know, expanded until 2021. And I'm like, what? I further into 2021. And I'm like, what? That sucks. But clarification
Whoa,
is,
what?
it's actually,
No way, man.
it's honestly just, it's just honoring
Yeah.
its existing agreement.
Correct.
That's what it's.
I think it's sad that Final Fantasy is exclusive to PlayStation.
Especially when the previous one was not. You know,
Yeah,
like,
look,
it
a lot
was
of people
everywhere.
are like, well, it was the game that made the PlayStation what it is, so whatever. I'm like, look, I get that, but I don't really think that counts for anything at this point. Like, I just would have liked it if Xbox fans had the chance to play it as well. I think it's disappointing, but look, it will be exclusive to PlayStation for at least a year. There's nothing that's going to change that now. Sony have paid for it, they've got it. Yeah, that's all I can say really.
Yeah.
As I said, it does disappoint me when you have timed exclusives from non-first party. I understand first party, I get it, because that's baked into the business model. Having first party exclusive games is why they do that to sell consoles, and that keeps the whole business model flowing.
Yeah, and they've
but
also
when it's third party like that, I don't like it.
Yeah,
I really don't like it.
Yeah, like, you know, when you've actually put money in and nurtured that product with, you know, in terms of it's a first party title, so it's within that studio. You know, you're fronting a lot of the cash and whatever. I get that, but
Yeah.
with this one, like just paying. Well, we don't know the ins and outs. Maybe they actually did put some money in for development, but it seems like they're just throwing cash at them just to give it to them for a while. It's like the Destiny 2 thing, you know, how they gave content for an entire year to PlayStation.
Yeah,
Was that Destiny 1 or Destiny 2?
That was definitely Destiny 1.
Okay.
And also Destiny 2.
Yeah, I
both.
just think, like, dude, you just
Such
throw
shit.
cash, man. Like, come
Such
on.
a shit move.
You know?
That was Activision that did that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they don't do that now that they're free of Activision.
Oh,
so.
speaking of a terrible segue, Smash Brothers, okay? New
can have it, it's
character,
not
Byleth. Okay, Byleth is the heaviest dude I've ever actually played with Smash.
Is he really?
He's very heavy. Or he and she, you can be both, of course. Very heavy, actually. Very, like, feels as heavy as Bowser. Anyway, Sakurai, okay? Now, I always wondered, does the big boss man Sakurai actually pick the characters? Or is it Nintendo that's like, listen, we're going to pick them and you put them in? It seems now we have a bit of clarification on this. Firstly, he said that there's too many sword characters in this goddamn game. There's too many Fire Emblem characters in this goddamn game. He went on to clarify that it's actually Nintendo that chooses what characters are going to be in this game.
Yeah. It's funny, like, what do you call it? Did you see that donkey video?
Of
that
course.
he did? It's so good. People like this. So good.
I mean, everyone was annoyed for good reason. Like, most of the time in Super Smash, you will see two. You'll see usually two in terms of there's a Samus, Dark Samus, Mario, Dr. Mario. There's the Peach, then there's Daisy. You know, like, there's things that really couple together. There's Bowser and Bowser Jr., right? With this, like, there's like 1,400 of these Fire Emblems, and there's so many sword characters.
Yeah.
So I do think that Sakurai's right. I think we need to really move away from that. Now, with this new 5 pass that they've announced, it's going to be 5 new DLC characters that you can buy. They've already announced now the first 5, and the next 5 are coming. I really feel like my spidey sense is tingling that the first character that they're going to be showing is going to be hopefully a big one, because they need to justify why people buy another 5 DLC characters. And I don't think they're going to give us some shitty character again. I don't think we're going to see another Fire Emblem.
What about we're going to get Master Chief?
I think we're gonna get Waluigi.
Doomslayer?
Waluigi is the first.
Waluigi
No,
has
he
to
might be the last one, actually.
Yeah, just as a troll.
I mean, if they don't do that, it's like, really? I hate this whole argument. Well, he's already an assist trophy, and they've never, ever put an assist trophy in.
Is this how you do this?
I don't know what this is. But, like, that's not an argument. Who cares if he's an assist trophy? Put him in.
Sam is obviously very passionate about this topic.
Look.
Let's segue to another
that was
one,
it.
shall we? That was it. That's all we got on that one.
Okay.
Smash good, Sakurai good, Fire Emblem characters bad. That's the TLDR. Guys, the PS5 release approaches, PS4 hardware and game sales slump.
Oh, one more minute, guys. One more minute.
This is actually the same thing happened to Xbox recently, where their sales bottomed out hard. That kind of happened to them a long time ago, but it happened even more recently with the announcement of Series X, and now people are holding out,
Which is understandable.
So the thing is here, Sony reported a decline of sales for the Game and Network Services division, for which PlayStation branch of the business operates. Sales of the PlayStation 4 reached 6.1 million units, which is a drop from 8.1 million units during the same period in the previous financial year.
Oh, yeah.
So it's obvious what happens. We know that next-gen
though.
consoles are coming, and so people don't buy the last-gen consoles, they wait. But yeah, it's still pretty good, obviously.
I mean, what is that? That's a 25% decrease, right? Which is fine, really, when you're actually, like, releasing a new product. A lot of people are going to chill. They're not going to jump out and buy this new product, especially now with Xbox's new initiative to be like, we're going to make sure all the games are also on both platforms. We don't know if Sony's going to do that too, but maybe they will. And they've also filed that patent to allow you to do multiple cross-generation playing, you know? So it sounds like that's going to be on the cards for them, so you know that makes sense. If I'm a dude that doesn't have all the money in the world and need to make sure that my console purchasing is right, then I'm going to wait for the new one.
Yep.
Anyway, we've got no time left.
Guys, final
we're going to leave you with this.
We're going to leave you. We're like one of those news programs that does the good news story at the end to leave you walking away happy.
The panda was born in the zoo.
This was, that's right. This guy actually built himself a treadmill controller for Death Stranding.
Very cool.
So that when he walks, it actually walks in the game.
A bit bigger, if you
Say again? Oh yeah, we can make that theater mode, I think. Yeah, and you can see here he is. He's, oh shit! Oh, and then he takes a bit of a fall, and then shit.
Well, he's not falling in real life.
Wow, look at him. This is it. Jesus. This is a fall. This is one hell of a fall.
Wow.
So, and then he actually rigged it up, by the way, so that when he starts running, and I'll show you up here. This flat here, this is it here, right? So
pretty cool.
When he starts running, actually Norman Reedus starts running.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty cool little thing, man. That's pretty clever.
It's very similar to, you know how the guy that played World of Warcraft, he attached it to things that if he wasn't on the treadmill, the electricity wasn't pumping through.
And he lost like
400 million kilos, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a good way of doing it, and that's interesting. And that's actually, I mean, that could be the future. You never know. Like in terms of VR,
yeah, right.
That'd be pretty cool.
Right.
Running games and shit.
Sure.
I would like to do that. Oh, competitive running games.
Yeah, right. That's a great idea, Sam. Gamers would love that.
And cheating. You know how Fallout said cheating? You can just look at the floor.
and go faster.
Anyway,
someone says hidden gem gamers. I'm a huge fan of Raven Software. Singularity is one of my favorite hidden gems. I hate how Activision has been forcing them to work on COD. Would like to see a new Singularity. Would you like to see a new Singularity or any other new Raven game? I don't know what Singularity is.
I don't know what that is.
I have to go check it out.
But yes, I would love to see another one.
I thought
they did a fantastic one previously, so
I would love to see them make not COD, personally. But yes, and the last one we got is you should try out Echo Global Survival. Have a look at it. Haven't heard of it. Thank you very much, my friend. Guys, that's Laymen Live for the week. You don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. Lots of content planned this week. Only big game release this week is going to be Wilson. There's nothing else we have this week, I don't think. That's it?
Yes, and we got to play Warcraft Reforged too.
No, we're not. We're not doing that. That's just totally.
Let's do that, guys.
Sam, take us out with a song.
Toss a coin to your layman. We need money. Oh, YouTube doesn't pay us very plenty. Am I off? No, get off me.